Numbers chapter 19. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, This is the statute of the law which Yahweh hath commanded, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came a yoke. And ye shall give her to Eleazar the priest, and he shall bring her forth outside the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle her blood toward the front of the tent of appointment 7 times. And one shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin and her flesh and her blood, with her dung shall he burn. And the priest shall take cedar wood, and hyssop, and scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes with water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the even. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up outside the camp in a clean place, and it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water for impurity. It is a sin offering. And he that gathereth the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. And it shall be to the children of Israel, and to the stranger that sojourneth among them, for a statute forever. He that toucheth a dead person, for any soul of man, shall be unclean 7 days. The same shall purify himself therewith in the 3rd day and in the 7th day, and he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself in the 3rd day and in the 7th day, he shall not be clean. Whosoever toucheth a dead person, the soul of the man that hath died, and purifieth not himself, defileth the tabernacle of Yahweh, and that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water for impurity was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon him. This is the law when a man dieth in a tent. Every one that cometh into the tent, and every one that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which hath no covering bound upon it is unclean. And whosoever in the open field toucheth one that is slain with a sword, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. And for the unclean they shall take of the ashes of the burning of the sin offering, and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon the vessels, and upon the souls that were there, and upon him that touched the bone, or the slain, or the dead, or the grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, and on the 7th day he shall purify him, and he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be clean at even. But the man that shall be unclean and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from the midst of the assembly, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of Yahweh. The water for impurity hath not been sprinkled upon him. He is unclean. And it shall be a perpetual statute to them. And he that sprinkleth the water for impurity shall wash his clothes, and he that toucheth the water for impurity shall be unclean until even. And whatsoever the unclean person toucheth shall be unclean, and the soul that toucheth it shall be unclean until even.